How's it going, everyone? It's Harvey from Weather Spunk. That was today. It's April 25th, 2021, and today we're going to focus on the major severe weather threat that's expected to happen, that's expected to impact the United States, a lot of the Midwest and the Southeast, as well as the potentially next major Arctic blast that could happen in the northern Midwest states and the flooding concerns along the East Coast. Well, before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather icons. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather icons. So let's begin by taking a look at the current radar. So, well, this technically isn't the current radar, but it's the futurecast radar, and it's pretty much accurately representing what is happening right now when it comes to rainfall. So a current radar isn't necessarily needed in this case, as a futurecast radar does a good job of mimicking it in a very identical fashion, and you see that for the most part. Most of the United States is dry. However, we do obviously see a lot of rain towards the mid-Atlantic states, where we're seeing heavier bouts of rain around the Delmarva Peninsula, southern New Jersey, and a lot of Pennsylvania as well is under moderate showers at this point. And this low pressure right here is expected to strengthen, but the good news is that it isn't expected to strengthen at a clip to where it'll be a major concern when it comes to wind or maybe surf or a major rainfall event, as this will mostly pass by too quickly, and it'll strengthen to a concerning way when it's well out to the when it's well off to the north and east of the northeast United States, and it'll mainly be at its worst in Canada. So this won't be a major threat for the United States. I'd say mainly rainfall will be the primary concern with this, and maybe some gusty winds along the New England coast like Massachusetts and Maine, but nothing to worry about for this low pressure system, other than some rain showers. But another thing we also need to take a look at is the amount of snow showers that are happening in the Pacific Northwest right now, where in the higher elevations there's a lot of snow right around Oregon, and this extends to Washington State, and a lot of Montana right now is also experiencing a lot of snow showers, and we are seeing rain in the lower elevations, and this will be the key trough that will move through the United States that will eventually create the major severe weather threat in the Midwest, right along the Mississippi River Valley. So we need to keep a close eye on this one, especially since it's already dumping quite a bit of snow in the higher elevations, which shows that there's a lot of cold air with this trough aloft, and that will induce an unstable environment once this reaches the Midwest, where there's going to be obviously warmer temperatures than what's currently inside the trough. So as a result, it's definitely something to watch, and we're gonna have to see how much cold air will be with this next trough. But if we were to take a look at the future of this trough, you see that if we move forward, you see that it lingers over the same area for quite some time. However, the snow showers eventually do move a little bit further eastward, where the Yellowstone National Park is getting impacted. A lot of Nevada and Utah and throughout Oregon is getting impacted a lot. Oregon, I should say, and Idaho as well getting impacted by a lot of snow showers, and even California is receiving some rain showers from this. Which for a lot of you guys in the along the West Coast, this is definitely some great news, because you guys have been in just a very, very bad drought over the past several months, and seeing at least some precipitation fall in these drought-stricken regions is something that is desperately needed throughout the West Coast. However, unfortunately, it won't be a lot of rain showers, I should say. Maybe a couple of showers throughout California and extending to Nevada and Utah, but I wouldn't say it's going to be a ton. It's more so going to be heavier in the higher elevations of Utah and Wyoming, and overall closer to this trough. But you see that there's a lot of snow associated with this trough, which represents that there's a lot of cold air behind this trough as a result of the strong northerly wind component that's being induced by how low this pressure is, where the air molecules are trying to filter into this low pressure system, and as it does so, the Coriolis effect obviously is steering the winds on the western side of this trough southward, and that's bringing that colder air in the more northern latitudes in Canada, where the short wave radiation is limited, and it's bringing that colder air further southward. And we're seeing a lot of snow showers in the higher elevations, which isn't very something you see every day this late into spring, where we're already approaching May, and we're seeing snow showers still throughout a lot of the Rocky Mountain regions. But you see going forward into right around the 60-hour mark, just past the 2-day mark, you see most of the snow showers are out of the Pacific Northwest at this point, but we see a lot of snow showers still lingering through Utah and Wyoming and Colorado. So you guys need to pay attention to the higher elevations. And you see that this low pressure system is quite potent at 993 millibars, which is a concern because since this low pressure system is so strong, it's going to bring a lot of that colder air further southward to create an unstable environment to set the stage for some severe weather. But as we move forward, right around the 3-day mark, you see that the bulk of the rain showers or the bulk of the cold air is moving further eastward, and you see that it induces some thunderstorm activity right around Oklahoma and Texas around the 3-day mark, right around the Dallas metropolitan region. So I'd say right around Wednesday, you guys need to pay close attention to the radar, because severe weather will definitely arise out of this drop in the jet stream. I should say not a huge drop, since the jet stream won't drop all the way down, but it will be enough to induce some unstable air in this region to create a thunderstorm, to create a potentially major severe weather threat. But as we move forward, we see that this low pressure system gains a lot of speed once it moves further eastward, and I suspect it's as a result of just the much stronger steering flow at this point. There's going to be a pretty strong jet stream at this point, and it's typical that it's going to be much stronger in this area when the unstable air is more noticeable than, let's say, in the Pacific Northwest, where there isn't going to be, I'd say, as much unstable air to induce just strong upper level winds. But if we move forward, you see that this storm moves rapidly and low pressure system eventually jumps, which is one of the main reasons why this low pressure system is going to move so fast into the east, where since this low pressure system is going to jump. However, the thunder showers and thunderstorm activity will still remain right around Texas and Oklahoma, which is the main concern for me. And even moving forward, even when the low pressure system is well past into the east, there seems to be another trough that's going to form on the back side of it, because the amount of cold air throughout the Midwest is still going to linger around the Midwest and induce another area of lower pressure. So we're going to see continued thunderstorm activity throughout the Southeast, right around Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas will be in the heart of this severe weather threat. And moving forward, you see that jet stream dips far south, where we're seeing that 546 millibar contour line dip very far south, to the point where it's bringing a lot of rain along this jet stream dip. And I'm going a little bit far out with this beyond the 5-day mark, but you see that since there's so much unstable air, the GFS is even leaning towards developing some sort of pretty strong nor'easter, where we're seeing heavy rain along the coast, which is definitely something we need to also keep in mind in the future. But for right now, I'm focused on the major severe weather threat that could happen, because that seems to be the most likely scenario at this point. And if we were to take a look at the convective available potential energy, if we move forward into the future, you're going to see that there's going to be plenty of convective available potential energy throughout the Midwest, right around the Mississippi River Valley, where we do see some higher values of convective available potential energy hovering around the 1,500 joules per kilogram mark, which is a lot of convective available potential energy. And we do see some oranges at times, which represents there's a lot of lift going on in the atmosphere to induce just a severe weather threat. And this is the main reason why I do expect a severe weather threat to come out of this, and potentially severe by how much convective available potential energy is forecasted throughout the Midwest, especially throughout Oklahoma, and even Missouri is getting involved in a lot of lift. And when there's so much convective available potential energy, it creates a lot of lift in a certain atmosphere where the air molecules are very buoyant, which will allow the water vapor to rapidly ascend into the atmosphere, and that will release a lot of latent heat, and that'll create just a lot of convection to induce a lot of thunderstorm activity, which is the main reason why I do expect a severe weather threat throughout the Southeast. If we were to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center, if we take a look over the next 3 days, you see that for the most part, there's no major risk at all for severe weather over the next 3 days. However, I think the main threat of severe weather will be beyond the 4-day mark, where you see that as of right now, it's the Storm Prediction Center is mainly predicting only a 15% chance of severe weather right around Oklahoma and Texas. However, I do expect that to quickly rise because I've seen the Storm Prediction Center say the predictability is too low only 4 days out, and then literally when the day of, it becomes a major severe weather threat. So we need to keep a close eye on that, and I do suspect that this chance will certainly increase once we get closer and the computer models, especially and the Storm Prediction Center, gets more confident with the forecast. Now, what will determine whether we receive a severe weather throughout the Midwest is how far south this jet stream dips, and obviously how much cold air will be within this low pressure system, and that really all depends on the strength of this low pressure system over the next 7 days. Because if the computer models detect that if this low pressure system is a little bit stronger, then that would mean that the winds will be stronger and the northerly winds will be stronger, and that'll dip the jet stream further southward to induce a bigger severe weather threat. However, if the trough ends up being weaker than expected, expect the winds to be weaker surrounding the low pressure system, and as a result, there's going to be less unstable air where that cold air will interact less with that warm air. So we need to keep a close eye on how strong this low pressure system is over the next several days, because that will be a huge determinant of whether or not you will receive a major severe weather threat throughout the Southeast. However, I am at least confident some sort of severe weather will come out of this trough based off of how active this severe weather season has been. And since we're in the month of April and May, it's almost a given that we're going to at least see some sort of severe weather out of this low pressure system. The question is, how major will this be? Will this be a major tornado outbreak that could be deadly? Will there be large hail? Will there be a lot of damaging wind reports? We just have to wait and see. But yeah, we just have to, another concern with this is also flooding, because as you can see, if we take a look, there's going to be just a ton of rain lingering over the same area right around Oklahoma and Texas, where it's going to be sort of in a blocking pattern almost, where this ridge that's located in the southeast is going to block this rain from moving further eastward, and there's just going to be a persistent jet stream dip that's going to just stay over the same area for a very long time, because as this trough moves through, it's going to induce a jet stream dip of its own, but there's going to be another small trough just to the north of the United States border that's going to induce another jet stream dip that will make thunderstorm activity linger over the same area in the southeast, because you see that trough eventually dips that jet stream further southward, and we do see another jet stream dip bring more rain to a lot of the same areas, which is another concern I have with this next low pressure system. The flooding could also be a major issue. If you were to take a look at the rainfall forecast throughout the Midwest, you see that there's over 4 inches of rain, close to 5 right around Oklahoma is currently expected over the next 5 days, and even extending to Pennsylvania, Ohio, and a lot Illinois and Indiana. You guys are receiving 1 to 3 inches of rain, which is quite a lot, and it's enough for some areas to receive flooding. So flooding will be another concern with this, and this might be good news for some areas in Texas, because I just checked, and a lot of Texas is under very drought stricken at this point. So having some rain is certainly good, but having too much, like we're going to see from this storm, will be a concern with this. And also another thing we need to keep in mind is the polar jet stream. We need to keep a close eye on how far south that dips. And as for what the European model is saying, to see how confident it is regarding the severe weather threat throughout the Midwest, taking a look at that, you're going to see that the European model has also been agreeing that we're going to see a persistent area of thunderstorms throughout the Midwest. As you see, there's more thunderstorms. There's that dip that the European and the GFS model are both agreeing on. So there's certainly high confidence that we're going to see some sort of severe weather threat. And even going beyond that, the European model is forecasting a big low pressure system to develop just off the coast of the Northeast, just like the GFS. So there's certainly high confidence with this that there's going to be severe weather threat and thunderstorm activity right around the Southeast. And there's some sort of higher confidence now we're going to see a low pressure system just off the coast of the Northeast, where it could be quite strong and could bring nor'easter type conditions. However, that's still very uncertain at this point because I'm going beyond 5 days out with this. We need to wait and see how far south this jet stream dips and how much cold air will be behind this initial low pressure system. We just had to wait and see, but as of right now, I think a severe weather threat throughout the Midwest should be expected and a flood threat as well. So yeah, guys, in terms of the map I made, I showed the areas where major severe weather is possible. Texas is under that, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and even Iowa and portions of Tennessee could all be under the threat of some severe weather out of this state, thanks to how much lift this low pressure will induce in the atmosphere as a result of the cold air behind it. And there could be an Arctic blast behind this low pressure system as a trough moves through, and flooding concerns will also be issues. So keep in mind that for this week all throughout the United States. But anyways, guys, I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather content. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather content. And I hope you guys have a good day.